Okay, hi all. Today we'll discuss about the distribution of loads in a building. Okay, how exactly the loads will distributed from slab to beam, beam to column, and column to footing. Okay, we'll discuss on this. And how to analyze the structural elements. Okay, we'll discuss one or two examples on analysis of building elements, that is structural elements. Okay, it is done manually, whatever the load distribution as well as the analysis will be there. Okay, it is done manually. Okay, manual distribution, how exactly it happens. Okay, before that we must know the types of loads which are acting. Okay, first we must know the types of loads. Okay, that first one, the live load, dead load, floor and plaster finish will be considering. Floor and plaster finish, okay, will be considering on the slab. Okay, all these loads will be taken as per the codal provisions, as codal provisions, and we must know how exactly these loads will get distributed from slab to beam, beam to column, and column to footing. Okay, here what happens? Okay, I'll be taking a slab of size 3 meter by 5 meter. Okay, and its Ly by Lx ratio is 5 by 3. It is 5 by 3 is equal to, it is nothing but Ly by Lx ratio. Here we are checking whether it is one-way slab or two-way slab. Okay, 5 by 3 is equal to 1.67, which is less than 2. Obviously it is a two-way slab, right? Okay, in two-way slab, how exactly the load distribution occurs, okay, that we need to find out. Here whatever the lines are shown, okay, here we made two triangles and two trapezoidals. Okay, in this way the load is get distributed. Okay, even I have shown the symbol of two-way slabs also. Okay, whatever the hatched portion is there, this load is distributed to 3 meter beam. Okay, this beam. Okay, I am drawing a beam with the black color pen. Okay, here you can check. Okay, here the whatever the triangle portion is there, its a load is distributed to the respective beams. Okay, and the trapezoidal portion load is distributed to the respective 5 meter beams, right? Okay, in this way the load is get distributed in a slab, that is from slab to beam. Okay, now we need to find out area of triangle as well as the trapezoidals. Okay, here I'll draw once again. Okay, two triangles, one trapezoid, two trapezoids. Okay, load is distributed whatever the areas are there. Okay, here I am showing with arrows. Okay, the load is distributed to a respective beam. Okay, so here I am making the areas A1, A2, A3, A4. Okay, that these areas need to be calculated. Okay, here I am showing the distribution pattern also. Okay, it is load is distributed on all the four sides. Okay, first we need to find out what exactly the total load, okay, or how exactly the load distribution factors are there. Okay, if here we will calculate the distribution load distribution factors. Okay, and for distribution, Okay, there is a figure which is given in the code book, that is IS 456 2000, in the Indian Standard 456 2000. Okay, even you can refer for the distribution. Okay, the same figure is given in IS 456 2000. Okay, we'll distribute loads accordingly. Okay. Okay, here I'll draw once again. Okay, sorry, I'll draw it once again. So here again I have made the slab. Okay, so okay, load is there, and its a distribution will be at an angle of 45 degree. Okay, 3 meter by 5 meter, 3 meter by 5 meter slab I am taking. Okay, if it is 45 degree, half of that is 1.5 meter. Okay, so here what happens, on either side the height of this triangle is 1.5 meter. Okay, so the remaining portion is 2 meter. Okay, so here I am going to find out the area of two triangles and two trapezoids. Here first I will take the first triangle, half into base into height. Okay, it is 1.5 into 1.5. There are two triangles. Okay, right. So in this 3 meter itself, okay, I have multiplied with 2. Whatever the green portion I am showing, okay, portion which I have shown using green lines, okay, that is area of triangle, that is half into base into height into two parts are there. Okay, that's why I multiplied. Okay, with the 2. So total area of this portion is, whatever the hatched portion I am showing, okay, is it is equal to 2.25 meter square. Okay, here also the same symmetry is there. Okay, so I will be taking the okay, area of this part also 2.25 meter square. Now we need to find out area of trapezoids. Okay, so here I need to calculate the area of this two trapezoids. Again I will divide it into, in one trapezoid there will be a two triangles. So I will divide it into one rectangle and two triangles in a single trapezoid. Okay, when the width is 3 meter, okay, your okay, we'll differentiate both the trapezoids. We'll differentiate both the trapezoids. Okay. Now here, okay, I'll make two trapezoids separately. Okay, whatever shown with the green line. This first trapezoid. Okay, I'll calculate area of this, and I'll divide it into two triangles. Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, and one trapezoid, right? Okay, 1 and 2, area of 1 and 2 is be equal to how much? Okay, it will be equal to 2.25. Okay, same as that of the previous triangles. Okay, area it will be same, and area of the third one is, it is a rectangle. Its height is width is 1.5 meter and height is 2 meter. So its area will be equal to area of third portion. Okay, area of 3 is equal to how much? 2 into 1.5, that is equal to 3 meter square. Okay, total we are getting area of the trapezoid is equal to 5.25 meter square. Here also will be getting same. Okay, symmetry is there, 5.25 meter square. Okay, I'll draw it once again, and I'll show you the areas. it is 2.25 meter square, 5.25 meter square. So here I'll mention the beams, that is B1, B2, B3 and B4. Okay, now we know the area, and I'll notify the beams, that is B1, B2, B3, B4, and what exactly the load will occur on the beams. Okay, I'll calculate. Now here we'll calculate the loads on beams. Okay, before that we must know the intensity of that is load on a slab. Okay, so area is already taken. We must know the intensity due to dead load, live load and floor and plaster finish. Okay, so the total load of these things need to be calculated. Okay, here dead load is equal to how much? Okay, we'll consider the thickness of slab of 125 mm. We'll assume thickness of slab is equal to 125 mm. (0.125) into 1 into 1. Okay, we are taking 1 square meter slab area and density of concrete, that is 25. Okay, no need to write 1 into 1, because we will be considering, and if it is intensity, we will be writing the load in kilonewton per meter square. Okay, simply it is 0.125 into 25. Okay, it is 0.125 is in meter cube, okay, meter, and 25 is kilonewton per meter cube. Total it will be 3.125 kilonewton per meter square. And as per IS 875 part 2, live load I am taking, okay, for residential buildings, live load I am taking 2 kilonewton per meter square. And as for IS 875 part 1, floor and plaster finish will be taken taken as 0.6 kilonewton per meter square to 1 kilonewton per meter square. So here I am taking 1 kilonewton per meter square. Total load on the slab is equal to 6.125 kilonewton per meter square. This is the working load. Okay, we must calculate the factored load also. So here I'll be finding the factored load which is acting on the slab, that will be equal to 1.5 times 6.125. 1.5 into 6.125, that is the 9.18 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, this is the total intensity of load which is acting on the slab. Okay, now we need to find out the total load acting on the beam. Okay, either it may be in the form of kilonewton or kilonewton per meter. Okay, either total load or UDL. We'll calculate one by one. Okay, I'll draw the figure once again. So B1, B2, B3, B4. Okay, there are 4 beams are there. Okay, B1, B2, B3, B4. Okay, and B1 and B4 will be same. B2 and B3 will be same. Okay, now the load on B1 and B4. Okay, we'll calculate here. Okay, the area of the triangle which is related to B1 is 2.25. Okay, that load is distributed to B1, right? Okay, so intensity is 9.18 kilonewton per meter square into the load is 2.2, the area is 2.25. Okay, 9.18 kilonewton per meter square into meter square, you'll get the load in kilonewton. Okay, 9.18 into 2.25, it is around 20.655 kilonewton. Okay, 9.18 is in kilonewton per meter square and area is in meter square. So we got a load of 20.655 kilonewton will be acting on the 3 meter span beam. Okay, if it is okay, if you want to write it in UDL, that is 20.655 divided by the span of beam, that is 3 meter. It will be equal to 6.885 kilonewton per meter. This is the UDL which is acting on the beam. So next will be that is the load acting on B2 and B3, we'll calculate here. Okay, load on B2 and B3. Actually it is B1 and B4. Okay, load on B1 and B4. Okay, now it is B2 and B3. Okay, so the intensity is 9.18 and area is 5.25. Okay, intensity into area. Okay, we'll get total load acting on the beam. 9.18 into 5.25 is equal to 48.195 kilonewton load which is acting. If it is if you want to write it in UDL, it is just 5 meter span beam is there. 48.195 divided by 5, you'll get how much? 9.639 kilonewton per meter. Okay, all these things are in either kilonewton or kilonewton per meter. Okay, here I am showing the UDLs, right, on the respective beams. 6.885. Next will be, it is 9.639 kilonewton per meter. Okay, in this way we'll be calculating the load, how exactly the load distribution occur from slab to beam. Okay, either in the form of UDL or okay, obviously you can convert. Now I will learn about how exactly the load is distributed from beam to columns. Okay, beams to columns. Okay, so there are 4 beams, you know, B1, B2, B3, B4. Again I'll notify the columns also. Okay, here I'll take our right UDL, that is 6.885 kilonewton per meter, and this one is 9.639 kilonewton per meter. 69 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so in this way the load is acting. Okay, everything the data I am taking from here itself. So the okay, if it is okay, generally you can easily divide by taking load in kilonewton. Okay, instead of writing 9.639 kilonewton per meter, I am writing 48.195 kilonewton. Okay, and instead of writing 6.885 kilonewton per meter, direct total load on the beam is equal to 20.655. Okay, half of the load is distributed to the respective columns. Okay, I am notifying the columns, that is C1, C2, C3, C4. Okay, the load on the column is equal to, okay, all the 4 columns carries the same load because of symmetry, right? Half of 48.195 is distributed to column C1 and another half is distributed to column C2. Okay, whatever B2 is there, okay, load on B2 is there, it will be, half load will be distributed to C1 and half will be distributed to C2. Okay, whereas the load on B1 is half is distributed to C1 and half is distributed to C3. Okay, so now I am calculating load on C1, that is half of 20.655, that is from B1, and plus half of 48.195, that is from B2. Okay, total together the load acting on the column is 34.425 kilonewton. Okay, because of symmetry, all column carries the same load. Okay, the symmetry is there in the structure. Because of symmetry, loads on all columns, that is not only C1. Okay, here I am writing the load on C1, but further if you calculate for all the columns C2, C3, C4, okay, you will be getting the same load, that is 34.425 kilonewton. Because of symmetry, the load will be same on all the columns. So here I'll be writing the loads on columns. C1, C2, C3 and C4 will be same. You can check also. Okay. Therefore, the load on columns, again I'll write once again. Load on C1, C2, C3 and C4 will be equal to something 34.425 kilonewton. This is the load acting on the columns. If it is only one story, it is 34.425. If multiple stories are there with the same dimensions, okay, number of stories, okay, for example 4 stories will be there, you need to multiply 4 with this 34.425. It depends how much load will act, right? If for example one room building, this is one room building of 3 meter by 5 meter, if it is of 5 story, the total load on the columns will be 34.425 into number of stories. Okay. Now you can add a self weight of column also. Okay, if you while designing, you need to add the self weight of column. Okay, 34.425 is the load which is acting on the column, but self weight is not at all added here. Okay, so you need to add the self weight. And when you design the footings, based on this load, the load is increased by 10%. Okay, 10% of this load is increased. Okay, for example 34.425 is the load which is acting. Okay, 3.4 kilonewton will be additionally added to the total load. Okay, for example the column carries 100 kilonewton including self weight, okay, which is acting on the footing, right? So here what I will do, 100 plus 10 kilonewton I'll be taking, that is treated as self weight of footing without knowing the dimension of footing. Okay, only the way to consider the self weight is increasing the load on column by 10%. So here okay, we know the dead load, live load, floor finish. Okay, everything will be there. So now we know the columns. Okay, I'll brief once again. Now we'll analyze a beam, a 3 meter beam which carries UDL of 6.855 kilonewton. 885 kilonewton, right? I'll take an example of analysis of beam, how exactly analysis will happen. 6.885, its span is 3 meter, and while doing design, effective span may be taken as taken based on the effective depth. Okay, suppose here I'll assume effective span of beam is 3.3 meter. Okay, it is a simple example. Okay, so moment will be calculated using your basics, that is WL square by 8. Okay, it is equal to WU L effective square divided by 8. Okay, here instead of L effective I'll be taking the actual span itself, 3 square divided by 8. Okay, in this way we'll be analyzing the beams separately. Okay, so moment on the beam is equal to 7.74 kilonewton meter. Okay, so this is the moment acting on the beam. Okay, you can use this moment and find out the reinforcement for this. So the load is very less, and self weight need to add the self weight. Okay, whatever the 6.885 is the load acting on the section, but we need to add, before design we need to add the self weight of the beam also. Okay, don't forget to add whatever the structural element you design, don't forget to add the self weight. Okay, further we'll design the elements, the structural elements such as slab, slab, beam, column and footing. Okay, we can easily design these elements from the basics. Okay, and I'll suggest you, if you want to become a structural designer, okay, this is all about the load distribution. Okay, so I'll discuss general things. Okay, if you want to become a structural designer, okay, one should have the clear and distinct knowledge about the structural engineering. And you must have the clear concept about all the cases. Okay, here we have only taken one room, right? Okay, the if you design the multi-story buildings by considering different types of loads and different area will be there. Okay, in that case you must have the knowledge of all the cases, and okay, most importantly you must have the confidence. Okay, basic concept of structural designing, you must be there. Okay, basics must be very clear. Okay, there is a quite a high risk in becoming a structural designer, because if you commit any mistake, okay, there is no chances, there will not be any excuses, especially for structural designers. Okay, if you commit mistake, a huge losses will be there, either in the form of life, the cost, okay, and more importantly the structural elements and life. Okay, okay, so it is a one of the very responsible job. Okay, so there will not be any excuse for structural engineers, keep it in mind. Okay, thank you. If you like this video, please press like button. Okay, for upcoming videos please subscribe, and subscribe my channel and press bell icon. Thank you.